Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Coffee and Crypto. Today is going to be the very first interview on the show, so let's welcome Digital Lawrence.
Hey, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, excited to have you, man. So for all the people that are listening right now that do not know you, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what got you involved with cryptocurrency?
Okay, yeah, sure. I was doing I've always been a techie, pretty much my whole life. Always tinkering with things and playing with Java at a young age. And crypto first popped on my radar when I was living in Denver in around 2010, 2011. Tech conferences and just attending some things, working at technology companies. And somebody was talking about Bitcoin, and that was, I don't even know, under $1. And I heard about the first time then. I had some buddies getting into it then. And then a couple of years passed, and I had a friend that lived next to the guy that created the Silk Road up in San Francisco. And that's a whole nother story, but I heard about it again then, and had some friends that got involved in buying Bitcoin ATMs. That was in 2013. And then again in 2017, beginning of the summer, it was when I really started paying attention and started accumulating crypto more and more. And ever since then, it's just been off to the races.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Like, I remember when I first started, just the absolute craze of hearing people, especially when Bitcoin started rallying up towards $10,000. Like, that's when the craze of cryptocurrency like really started to happen. You see all these people coming in, your friends, your friend's mom, everybody starting to start investing and stuff like that. And since then, man, it's the SEO and the searches have really stopped dropping off ever since Bitcoin started dropping and stuff. So it's been a really, really interesting year, I'd say, for cryptocurrency. And also given that the projects are starting to develop and it's starting to become really interesting for cryptocurrency for the people that are actually staying in it.
Yeah, I mean, the past few months have been a little bit of a roller coaster of emotions, speaking about the last 6-7 months, that huge rally, and now I don't even know, 60-70% drop off from the all-time high. Now it looks like we've been somewhat moving sideways for like 2 months now, somewhere between 6,000 and 9,000,
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see where it's going to go in the coming months here. I feel like we're coming to a pretty big deciding factor in the next 2 weeks as to the directionality of Bitcoin for the next few months.
Yeah, and as you know, all the alts are tied to Bitcoin, so everybody just waiting around, seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah, so what do you think about that? You think the maturity of this market depends on some separation between the alts and Bitcoin? Do you think that this market needs to mature a little bit more in terms of maybe getting some more pairings with altcoins, with USD or other stable currency coins, or just, normal currencies in general? So that way, we can get some separation and have alts start being independent from Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, that's as much of a philosophical question as it is practical. I would say that Bitcoin's kind of hard to take down. It's been 9 years and no really successful hacking attempts, and it's battle tested, it's proven. So that is kind of the last resort of all crypto. If everything else fails, you would think Bitcoin would still be around. I mean, it's risen from from the ashes many times like a phoenix. So I know Binance, which is, obviously one of the world's largest and most successful exchanges, is about to open direct pairing with fiat, especially the US dollar, I think in the next couple of months this summer, as they transition to moving to Malta, because of their regulations and because of their prime minister embracing crypto and fintech and blockchain. Does it need to decouple? Maybe. But I still think it's going to be, even if there's direct pairs, I mean, it's going to be hard to see alt currencies with larger market caps than Bitcoin. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Everybody loves when Bitcoin pumps and their alt pumps, and then everybody hates Bitcoin when it's down and their alts are down. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship. And I think if it does decouple, it'll probably still be a few years away.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting year, 2 years from now, to see where cryptocurrency goes for sure. So, like, what kind of gave you the idea to create a Twitter account and start podcasting for the crypto community? Like, what caused you to want to be an influencer for, the crypto community?
Well, I guess I didn't start off to want to be an influencer. I just, I have a personal Twitter that I've had for a few years. And then I wanted to start following a couple developers, a couple projects on Twitter. And so I created a crypto only Twitter. I don't know, back in like October, I think, November, and just really started following all the projects I really like. Of course, Odyssey, OCN. I was following Tron and a lot of other altcoins and just trying to stay up to date. And then I was just able to start, I don't know, I guess you could say finding news before other people would. So I'd find that news and I'd reshare it. And it just kind of became a little side project for me to like spread crypto, learn more, engage with other people. And then I guess it's been about 6 months now. And it's just, it got bigger than I thought it would. And now I have a lot of friends on Twitter and, I guess somewhat of an influencer. I don't always really think of myself like that, but it is nice to be able to have reach on social media and on Twitter, to get news out about important updates of a project or get feedback. And, that's my goal for Twitter and being a quote influencer is really just to be able to engage with more people on a bigger basis. It's nice to be able to do a poll and get, 2,000 votes on it versus just, doing a poll and getting 15 votes. So I'm still trying to grow, my account and make friends and, just get more news out there for the whole community.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure, man. That's the same thing with me. As actually was my next question. Like, what's your long-term, long-term goal with influencing? And I'd say mine's along the same lines, man. Just, having more reach, being able to connect and talk with more people and, overall just get more opinions from people in the cryptocurrency community and overall like see how other people think the development of this community is going. That's actually, why I created this podcast to have more and different perspectives on it. So that way we can kind of connect to see where everybody's feeling about the market, everyone's feeling about their coins, why they feel about their coins and stuff like that. And I know your favorite coin or what you're helping out right now is OCN. So tell me a little bit about that. What got you interested in the projects?
Yeah, great question. What got me interested into OCN was, I'm a big believer in the sharing economy, the gig economy. That's something that didn't exist a decade ago. I think it's actually celebrating its 10th year since Uber was started, which was, the grandfather of the sharing economy pretty much as it exists today. And, I follow a lot of projects and I was following Tron a lot and I still really like Tron. And, I don't know, sometime maybe around November, I spotted OCN and Odyssey. This was before their token sale. I was doing some research on the advisors and the people behind the project and reading their white paper, and I was like, okay, this could be really big. I could see why creating a protocol to build new sharing economy providers on top of that to kind of decentralize the data collection that all these companies are putting on us, like Facebook, Uber, Airbnb, they have so much data on us. And really the only people that are benefiting from it are the people at the top. You can make some money in the current sharing economy, but the people that are becoming ultra wealthy are, the big names that own those companies. And as the world becomes more decentralized, I think it will be, and more democratized, especially with the internet, and developing nations, that's one of the biggest parts of the economy that I think will be revolutionized. And I thought Odyssey had the team and the connections and the influence to be able to pull it off. And been following them ever since. And I've been one of their biggest promoters ever since I heard about them. You know, I was involved creating a holders group before the token sale kicked off. Kind of keeping the community together as it was developing, and you know, as it grew and grew and grew, I started having some interface with the Odyssey team, and we started talking more, and then eventually, you know, there was an opportunity for a role to be filled at the company, and you know, I applied, and we had a talk, and I told them what I thought I could do for the company, and they told me what they would like me to do, and we just decided to for me to work for them, and you know, here I am just promoting the future decentralized sharing economy.
Oh wow, that's really sick, man. I'm sure a lot of people would love to be in the position you're in, find and help and support the coin that you know, you see a future with. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So if you don't mind me asking, what are you currently working on with OCN? Like, what's your goal with being with them and bringing to the public? You're in Southeast Asia right now with them, right?
Yeah, I'm on the way home, but I am in Southeast Asia right now, and you know, they have a lot of big lofty goals, and they keep hitting them. You know, there's stuff obviously I can't really talk about, but our most recent one was the O-Bike integration, which O-Bike is a dockless bike sharing provider located in over 17 countries. I think there might be a couple more, and they have about 10 million users right now. And I mean, it's pretty big deal what just happened. We just integrated direct payments with OCN currency to rent a bike in over 17 countries. I mean, no other company is doing that. No other foundation is doing that. And that's real world use and adoption. So that was a really big thing that we just started working on. And we successfully completed the integration last week. And now we are looking forward to some more product releases for Odyssey. We have another product coming out in about 3 weeks. Can't say what it is yet, but it's something everybody's been wanting, everybody's been asking for, and it's kind of the tipping point for when someone says, okay, this currency is pretty legit. They have this and this. So we're working on that right now. And then on a bigger level, we're seeking out new partners, you know, globally, not just in Southeast Asia, but in America as well. So that's probably going to be moving into the second quarter of the year. One of my bigger goals is acquiring partnerships with strategic companies that would benefit OCN over the next couple years.
Oh wow, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. So for the new investor out there that maybe doesn't know too much about OCN, glad to hear all that information, talking a little bit about it. If you could give like a quick little elevator pitch as to the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, could you give like a quick little summary for what those might be for OCN?
Okay, a little SWOT analysis. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me think about this. So the strengths of OCN would be, first off, its position just against other cryptocurrencies. You know, we are a smaller market cap coin with a huge potential. So right there alone, just from a price perspective, there's you know, probably a lot of upside. The team is, you know, some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the tech field, coming from, you know, Asia and China. Our founder, Ishi, or our chief advisor, I mean, he's ran technology companies for a decade, and one was just ranked number 99 on the unicorn list of China. So they're very successful, hundreds of millions of dollars a year in revenue. So they have the tech talent, they have the capital and the resources to pull this off. So I would just say a huge upside in terms of price. I'm not going to do price predictions and stuff, but there is upside, and you know, the tech and the partners and the influence they have in the tech community and globally, The ability within its first 2 months to do a partnership with O-Bike is speaks for itself. Weaknesses, um, right now there could probably be a couple more exchanges in the future. I'd like to see that. Of course, more exchanges is always better. So there's a couple key exchanges that people are looking forward to. And that's all just running its course. That's all confidential, and it'll happen when it happens. So that's something I'd like to see happen with OCN Odyssey in the near future. Uh, Opportunities. I mean, the whole delete Facebook campaign that became popular last week or 2 weeks ago. I mean, that's something that people are starting to wake up to. Owning your data, owning your sharing services that you provide, just being more control of your privacy and your own future. Uh, Thankfully to the blockchain and these new technologies that people are able to embrace now. That's the sharing economy is somewhere. I don't have the stats directly in front of me, but it was around a $25 billion market in 2015. And I believe there was a survey done that put it at around 330 billion market size in the next 3 years. So this is one of the fastest growing spaces in the world, the sharing economy. It continues just to boom. There's new companies that you've never even heard of that are doing great in developing countries all over the world. Like we saw with Grab in Southeast Asia, they just bought out Uber's operations because they were beating Uber at their own game. So there's a lot of opportunities for Odyssey to integrate with all those providers, with all those new services, and as the world becomes more decentralized and more shareable, Odyssey can continue to kind of find its way in there and become the main protocol to power a lot of those services. Threats, I can't see any threats right now. I really don't know of a coin that's in our ballpark or even in the same space. There's a couple coins that are trying to, and some of them are successful sharing, certain assets on the blockchain. But in terms of like, number one, who we're competing against, it's never been brought to my attention by anybody or the team. And I can't think of a particular project that would, be our number one threat or competitor. So I think we're in a good spot. We have a lot of upside. We have the talent and the resources to pull it off, and we'll continue to make waves in the future.
That's good, man. That's good. Definitely right now, with like you were saying earlier, we're definitely in a position right now where, centralization is starting to become a thing where people are not really liking it. The whole fact of Facebook and taking all this information. There's actually a thread I saw online the other day talking about how Google saves all your information. I'm sure most people already could have assumed that, but it's going to be really interesting to see in the coming years about like how big these like decentralized companies are going to get with blockchain and how they're actually going to really, really disrupt all the big tech moguls of the modern day. Because like you said, we're starting to become more and more protecting of our information. And if OCN is the brand and company that's going to be able to be leading the forefront of this, because based on what you're saying, it sounds like they currently have no competitors right now. Being a first mover, the first mover advantage is quite powerful. So that's going to be very interesting to see coming up soon, because, if these big tech giants can be displaced by decentralization, like I think that's going to be absolutely big for the blockchain technology as well as cryptocurrency.
No, yeah, you said it exactly right. People, remember Facebook killed MySpace, and maybe it wasn't a direct kill, but MySpace got bought out, and it kind of crumbled, and then Facebook filled that vacuum that existed, and people were saying, "Oh, that can never happen to Facebook." And maybe traditionally, no, maybe Facebook's too big and powerful, publicly traded, and they're huge. But maybe as this new Web 3.0 or 4.0, depending on what timeline you're looking at, maybe that can be the Facebook killer. the decentralized thing. And I think that's what's going to take to unseat a lot of these tech giants. Is the next round of tech innovation will be the decentralized internet.
I agree, man. I couldn't agree more. It's going to be a very interesting time we're living in right now. So aside from OCN, what are your top 3 coins that you think will survive this bear market?
Oh, that's tough. One of the projects I really liked early on was ZRX. They are a decentralized protocol coin to power decentralized exchanges. So right there, as we were saying, the world's becoming more decentralized. One of the biggest things right now, ironically, is centralized exchanges. So we'll see more decentralized exchanges soon. Binance announced they're going to have a decentralized exchange powered by their own coin. So I wouldn't sleep on Binance's technology. I mean, CZ, he's the Batman of crypto right now. He's just making waves worldwide all the time. So I wouldn't sleep on the Binance coin or, their new coin that is going to power the decentralized exchanges. And I really like ZRX. I would just say Bitcoin as well. I mean, there's a ton of other altcoins out there that might show promise, but I think ZRX, just because of the decentralized nature of it and what they're trying to do and the technologies behind Binance upcoming decentralized exchanges, I think would both be, will probably survive this bear market.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm actually really excited about decentralized exchanges, DEX exchanges. I think they're definitely going to bring a lot of maturity into the market. And I think the future of DEX exchanges are definitely going to be strong. A lot, like right now, there's a few of them, but they're all like, low volume exchanges. There's it's kind of a gray area right now of where DEX exchanges are. So it's going to be very interesting to see, where all these people are coming in and starting to create these decentralized exchanges. I know Icon is currently working on one as well. So it's going to be really, really cool to start seeing these things come up. So, what advice, on another note, not financial advice, obviously, would you give to a new person entering the crypto space today?
Just read for a few weeks to a few months, just read everything you can. I mean, get on Reddit, get on YouTube, get on Twitter, download a couple white papers, watch a couple videos on blockchain technology, on nodes, on master nodes, on staking, on proof of work, proof of stake. And then definitely read the original Bitcoin white paper, because that's where it all started. If you haven't read that and you're a crypto, it's kind of blasphemous in a way, I guess. So that's what I would do. And then take whatever little money that you're willing to lose and start investing, I mean, consider it loss. That's what everybody says. I would not try to day trade or swing trade or anything, I would just buy a couple projects that I like, maybe catch something while it's not at its all-time high and just hold and see what happens. There's a lot to learn. And I ran a poll back in January. I got 3,000 votes or something, 4,000 votes. So statistically, it was pretty accurate, at least for crypto Twitter. And it was something like 70% of people lost at least 40% of their investment since December. And I was shocked. I didn't know it was that high. And then I think another 20% lost, at least 20%. So the majority of the people on crypto Twitter that participated in the poll have lost money over the past 4 to 6 months. I thought, everybody was kind of up and, they took a hit, but that's not the case. So, just do your own research, obviously not financial advice, but I mean, the more you know, the better off you are. I mean, I get private messages all day. I mean, I probably get 100 to 150 every day between Telegram and Twitter, and just people saying, "Oh, I lost $5,000. When is this gonna pump?" I'm like, what like take some personal responsibility. Like alt one crypto Johnny, when I talked to him the first time on the podcast, he was all about taking responsibility for yourself, and it's become more prevalent. You know, if I lose all my money in crypto, that's my own fault. That's just, you know,
100%. Yeah.
I took the L. You know, it was all my fault. If I make a lot of money, a lot of it's, you know, me. A lot of it's just the market. You know, it's just sad to see like people that are so unaccountable to themselves. You know, I being in my position with the company Odyssey, you know, a lot of people use me as their psychiatrist, honestly. You know, ask me, when do you think it will hit this? I need it to hit this to pay my rent, or what about this, or when this exchange is coming. And you know, I try to answer everybody I can, but for the most part, a lot of people that contact me are I guess I could say uninformed. You know, that it would be nice if they would do more research on not only the project that I'm involved with, Odyssey, but on other projects. So I always try to link them to, you know, a white paper or FAQ, and they have questions about blockchain technology in general. I try to normally send them like a couple good videos, but you know, there's a lot of people that just put $5,000 on their credit card on Coinbase on December 31st and had no idea what they were doing, and now they've lost a lot of money, and they're just, you know, a wreck now, you know. And that's fine, maybe ride it out, but at the same time, you know, you just you have to be responsible to yourself.
I could not agree more, man. Like I'm literally in the same boat as you. It's literally the funniest thing. Just getting DMs. You open up your DMs for a little bit, and then your DMs get flooded. When bounced? Like, when's Bitcoin touching the bottom? Is this the bottom? Like, constantly, these people just messing with me over and over again. Like, upset that they lost money, and like some people actually have asked me for money before. Like, physically asked me to send them crypto because they're down. And it's just so crazy to me. It's like, if you're in this market, you came into cryptocurrency fully well knowing that this market is volatile. If you are coming in and expecting 200% gains, you have to be ready for those, you know, 50%, like you said, 40% losses, you know? Like, when I first came into this, I mean, me personally, I fully expected that, you know, that there would be a day that I probably see a lot less money in my account than I would like. You know, I mean, obviously, most people were definitely like very euphoric in January/December. I was really up right now. I've definitely lost 40%. I'd go along with that poll as well. And it just like, it blows my mind. It's like, you know, you and me, everybody else that is out there that did not pull out and put into fiat is not somehow, you know, like, not going to be affected by this dump that Bitcoin is having. You know, like, we're all in this together, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I wish everybody the most success. I wish everybody the most wealth, and sometimes you don't always get it. And yeah, I try to help everybody I can, but some people, you know, I can't. It seems like they're 12 years old asking, you know, questions like, when Bitcoin to 40,000. It's like, yeah, I'm curious too, but the truth is, no one really knows.
Yeah, man, we don't have our crystal ball on us today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what do you see as being, aside from Bitcoin, what do you think the next massively adopted coin will be? Like, what do you see as, you know, people, the average Joe, holding this type of wallet to go pay for stuff? Like, what do you see as the next coin to be adopted?
Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. There's so many factors that are at play. You know, at least in the States, whatever's on Coinbase is the most adopted. And we saw with Litecoin and LitePay, and they, you know, whatever happened with that and that fiasco, you know, I know it wasn't Litecoin's foundation's fault, but they were pushing hard for that, and it just didn't work out. So I'm not sure, you know, obviously I'd love to see Odyssey adopted, and there's some stuff going on with that. But I think Bitcoin will probably always be the king of crypto. That's my guess. That's what I think, is going to happen. Over the past 8-9 years, tons of coins have came and gone, and Bitcoin's still here, still number one market cap. A lot of people would say Ethereum, but there's stuff going on with Ethereum right now that people aren't too sure about it. But a lot of people got a little more behind Ethereum recently, as their founder Vitalik shouted down Craig Wright. So at that conference the other day. So
yeah, I saw that video. It's hilarious.
Right. So I would say Ethereum, just because it's number 2 market cap, and it's been that way for a while. I saw in India they just banned almost, I think, all crypto to be bought through banks. So it's going to be, I think, a regional thing. What currency takes off, what doesn't. I think by next year there'll probably be 30 big cryptos out there that are like the most popular, and I think we'll kind of start seeing a lot of these alts like kind of drop off into the background. 1,600 currencies and ICO every other day. That's not sustainable, at least where the market. So I think a lot of coins are going to bleed a slow death over the next year, and then I think the more solidified over the next year, and then probably the cycle will start over. I think it's just going to happen, and eventually there'll be 5 to 20 big ones depending on what region you're in.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Like to me, that's the biggest lesson that I've personally learned from this entire journey so far since being in cryptocurrency.
So to finish the podcast off a little bit, what do you see as the biggest mistake that you've made in cryptocurrency so far? And what is the best decision that you've made in cryptocurrency to date?
Worst decision I've ever made in crypto was not buying Bitcoin in 2011 and 13 when I knew about it, and I had the opportunity in front of my face. Literally had friends saying like, "Yeah, just give me some cash, I'll buy it for you." So that would probably be my biggest regret and mistake in crypto. Biggest win, just getting in it, man. There's so much exciting stuff happening in this space, and the opportunity that I have now to, be in the role that I'm in with Odyssey, and of course, like on, Twitter, and just being able to like interact with people from all over the world, and travel, and blockchain and cryptocurrencies. That'd probably be my biggest win. I'm glad I got in when I did. And my whole world is centered on this stuff, and the opportunities are endless, and I'm glad that I'm in it. So that's probably what I would say.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, man. I'm really, really glad that this market is changing our lives, because me as well, man. The whole concept that my life is now gearing in a different direction because of this stuff, and I'm passionate about the future of cryptocurrency and how it develops, is so real to me. And yeah, man, I really want to thank you for being on the show today. It was awesome having you, and I look forward to the future with us, man.
Hey, Thomas, really appreciate you taking the time to have me on, and looking forward to listening to it and sharing it when it comes.